Jai Srimanarayana to you all. We are really delighted to see all the wonderful and enthusiastic coordinators of Prajna from all over the world, covering almost 7 countries, and each one seemingly interested, seemingly enthusiastic, and very, very dynamically working with the local areas and local teachers and local students and local parents. So we offer our Mangala sessions to each one of you for adding something good to the society. As you all know, the Prajna is a kind of energy we want to face the situation, whatever it is. Recently, during the Corona time, the COVID pandemic situation which we have gone through, Prajna worked really well with all the teams from across the world. Wonderful services are done and wonderful learning sessions also were conducted. And of course, not only for our Prajna, but even otherwise, what we found from people is they are really and dynamically using the online service, the network connectivity between different sections of the society. Being from one place, they're connected to some part of the world and conducted wonderful classes. Many conducted, general classes, academic courses, and of course, even spiritual courses also were conducted, and they are still this. Just today, just for your information, we met with a few devotees here in our Jiva premises who have gone through different stotras of our great acharyas who took those lessons from online services. And they have conducted that for almost 1 year. And completing that session, that means they completed that long, big stotra, and then they came to ashram here and concluded that and started another new phase of learning. In this process, across the world, many people use the time in a better way, no matter whether it is a pressed situation from the society or from the offices or from the parents and relatives and different things, but they are able to use the time in a better way. This is very, very important. And we as prajnates are interested in using it in far better way for our sake and also for the sake of our relatives and friends and our society at large. This is a very, very important time for us because just we have completed the Vighna Nivarana Chaturthi, right? And we are now just about to touch the day dedicated for our teachers. Teachers' Day is just coming in 1.5 days or 2. So we are in between. So we have to take the energy from the divine sources and we have to get the grace of our gurus and we have to strengthen ourselves and then aim at stars, aim at higher levels to reach. Interestingly, pandemic situation is now gone, almost. People are able to feel the freedom of conducting activities. Though all the offices are not opened for the people to come and work in the office environment, but many offices are open now. People are using the public gathering services for different types of things, for marriages, for functions, and for friendly meets, conducting different events they're using. Interestingly, the excuse is being shown when the self-progressing activities are coming into the picture. So whenever there is any kind of divine activity, and when there is a spiritual event, and when people are invited, they say Corona may be causing any kind of disturbance. They're still talking about the Corona only for certain areas, but otherwise they are enjoying the freedom of conducting events because the situation is now open for us. Let us pull up the energy. Let us gather the energy and then take the grace of God with us and then be under the shade of our gurus and then start stepping forward. Let us start working with public. Let us start working with the collective activities, collective efforts with the people as we were doing before Corona and start, our activities as normal as before. Interestingly, the problem of Corona also is not that serious nowadays, though it is showing some kind of impact even today. But it was not so serious as it was before. Especially for us, we want that the Prajna should be giving us a better solution as how best we will be able to work with the given situations, isn't it? And because of that, use better homely solutions to keep ourselves strong by practicing wonderful yoga, exercises, physical, mental, and intellectual, all the three. And then focus on the progression in spiritual way. This is what we have to do. Earlier, we were more interested in bringing children together and sharing our knowledge with them with regard to our, of course, the modular system, whatever is prepared by the interesting team for us to work with, like 4 or 8 modules are there for us to go with. And we are not much focused on elders. And in few places, we are working with youth. And great services are done wherever they are in practice. But wherever there are no youth services or elderly people's congregations, there, of course, we are working with the children. We are entering a wonderful time now because our long-awaited and more expected Ramanujacharya Swami has already come for us as the statue of equality. And most of us also were responsible in dedicating that statue to the world. Volunteers from different states and countries participated in the event, and they made all activities very successful and enjoyable also. So our Mangala Sasranams to all of them, who of course are not able to directly participate, but indirectly there is a kind of encouragement for the people who have participated. Our Mangala Sasranams are even for them. So now we have to start working on the message of equality, how best we are able to present it to the world. We have to present it through the children, through the youth, and also through the elderly and grown-up devotees circle also. What are the ways and means that we have to do this? How best will we be able to use this Prajna as the hub of this information, and how we distribute to all the sections of the society? This is where probably our research wing should start working and prepare some kind of protocol so that we can start working on that. What is the best way to prepare different stories to talk about the equality? And fundamentally, what does it mean by equality? These also we have to come out with a better presentation. Interestingly, we have seen here many people started talking about equality while visiting our project here. You say equality, and you are not allowing everybody just to come at free. And you talk about equality, and why you put some ticket here, why you charge for this? The equality is not just to talk about, it is to practice. And some more people have come here and said, Swamiji, you talk about equality and we are very, very happy for that. And because my child is not at all studying in home, so I want to join him here, give him equal opportunity so that he also will start learning things here. A good thing, at least in a positive or negative way, people have started talking about equality. It's always a welcoming thing for all of us. And now we need to tell about what does it mean by equality, and then how we are able to talk about that equality at children's level, at youth level, at grown-ups level. So we will put our ideas just before you to discuss and come out with a better presentation. Physical equality is not at all possible in the world. I'm sure that you all agree with me. Because we see people, some are lean, some are stout, some are heavy, some are tall, some are short, and some are black, some people are white, some people are gray, and some people are able to catch anything just within few moments. If you say once, they are able to understand properly and remember pretty well. And in spite of telling 1,000 times, one may not be able to know what exactly he is, not able to understand. So there are different levels of understanding and forms also. So finding out equality among all these people physically never happens. So we are not talking about the physical equality. What we are talking is, whenever there is something like there is a beautiful park and people want to see that, keep the options open when they want to follow certain rules, like how you have to walk through the park, what you have to do there, don't disturb the structures there, and just, maintain the dignity of as how you should be there in that. If you agree with those things, as anybody, no matter whether they belong to some caste, creed, race, religion, or section, or gender, you can keep the doors open for everyone. Let them go, enjoy, and come back. Keep the options open to everybody. So giving the chances open to everybody to get something, to reach to a height, or to reach a point. You need not keep any kind of barrier. You have to keep the options open for everybody. Somebody wants to use, somebody doesn't want to use, and somebody wants and but takes, detours here and there, and somebody wants to just disturb that. There, you can't just say, because you have given the equal opportunity to reach, or you have every freedom to touch everything, every liberty to do things in your own way. There is always a rule and regulation which has to be followed. So, equality is keeping the opportunities open to everybody. And as people use them, give them the result, give them the fruit, provide them the end result. If one is putting 50% of his energy, he will be able to get 50% of the result. And if one wants to use 95%, then he gets that much. And if one is using only 5%, yes, only that much he gets, isn't it? So equal opportunity doesn't mean that the one who never wants to put any effort also be given a chance like one who puts 100% of his effort. Does it make any kind of sense? So
it looks like we lost the audio.
Shimana and Swamiji, I think it's muted.
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, Swami.
Okay. So equality for us is to keep the options open to everybody and no restrictions whatsoever for everybody. But enjoying the result depends upon one's own effort and one's own commitment. How best we'll be able to put this idea in a better presentable format is where probably we people have to work out. For children, how we'll be able to present. For youth, how we will be able to present. For elderly, how we have to present it. So I suggest that our volunteers come out with their own ideas and consolidate those ideas and see that we will prepare something in a system that people will be able to understand and follow. Through our Prajna, if we are able to work out on this, I think probably some brainstorming is done, definitely we will be able to get better results. And physical presence is now, let us start working on that aspect also. And let us invite all. And earlier, while conducting the Prajna classes, our people, probably many a time, they were using the local languages. But now, most of that system probably might have been changed. But still, we will, we have to ask our local coordinators and the teaching teams to work with just English only, so that everybody feels comfort there. When we use the local language, the people that belong to other languages, they get some kind of, isolation. So they will be feeling isolated. So let that kind of feel happen there. But we always suggest, if we conduct the language classes, like learning Telugu, learning Tamil, learning Hindi, or any other language in that sense, if we take a special task of teaching that language also, definitely that we can focus on that and segregate a time for that class, and there we have to teach that language also. Then those who are interested will come and learn that. But for Prajna, follow strictly the English. That makes everybody feel comfortable. And the avadhanam processes which are started are giving wonderful results. First started with Vishnu Sahasranamam, and now, of course, our interesting volunteers and teachers started the avadhanam on Bhagavad Gita. And we, of course, participated in those sessions, and we felt really delighted. Just very recently, one team of volunteers who conducted online classes for Bhagavad Gita brought approximately 65 children from different parts of both Telangana and AP. And they did, beautiful presentation. All they are able to chant Bhagavad Gita very well. And a few of them are also just getting ready for avadhanam. And this is a nice, probably, area where we can focus on memory improvement processes. So we are calling it as avadhanam, that's fine. But what we said, that is a super memory test. Super memory test, which becomes, just, a very attractive thing for us. If you say it is avadhanam, and when we call the first prakriya, second prakriya, third prakriya, like that, they think it is something, very much related to some religion. And then it is a very regional stuff, something like that. So you can introduce these words, but how you can make these as universal, so that there won't be any kind of language barrier for people to understand. Let us work on that also. For us, Gita Jayanti will be coming during December. Means still we have approximately 2.5 months time. Will it possible, is it possible for us to conduct some event where we invite all the interested children or even elders to one location where all together chant Bhagavad Gita? It might take probably just 3 to maximum 4 hours. Very recently in Dallas, Pujya Sri Ganapati Sachidananda Swamiji conducted one such kind of event, what I heard, and it went on really well. And we should be very grateful for such wonderful event, to encourage people. Fortunately, nowadays, Bhagavad Gita has been universally accepted as a nice book of morals. Morals for household, morals for a societal person, moral for a politician, morals for a business guy, morals for a scientist, and for any kind of field, whatever is needed, Bhagavad Gita will be able to provide things from it for them. It's not providing solutions for them. It is a kind of encouragement for such people. From Bhagavad Gita, you'll be able to get. So let us take Bhagavad Gita from that angle, not just as a religious scripture. Are we able to involve many people in Gita chanting programs? If possible, discussing on Bhagavad Gita. Interestingly, our Prajnates started some class for youngsters, for youth, called probably LMIG, and where, of course, a few modules have been already completed. And this year also, they are going to continue that LMIG classes. I'm still waiting to hear the comments on those classes from our organizers. That means how the participants are feeling after listening those classes, and how the teachers who are conducting those things, or who are conducting the discussions, because we wanted it not just as a class, we wanted it as a discussion session. That when you take the topic, get prepared, come out with some kind of questions if you are able to, and then discuss about those things, whether it's possible to be like that, or whether it is better for us, or otherwise any option for us, or any alternative ideas for us, to improve the things. What exactly the students are feeling after reading these things, what the youth are able to understand after discussing these things. So the life management skills, what Bhagavad Gita talked about, because we are not just really able to understand all those things, but in a little way, the way that we understand, that we are trying to present those lessons, and are they useful really, or how we will be still improving them. This feedback, we have yet to get. So hope that we'll be getting. And now, before last year, I think we sent a few lessons up to 4th chapter. And now we are just preparing a few more lessons in that subject from 5th chapter, and we are just soon trying to send them. Are we able to discuss the same topics with elderly people? as a study group? And are we able to come out with a few ideas? What are the additions? And what are the modifications? How can we upgrade that knowledge? These kind of sessions, I think we have to start working with. There are so many other options for us to work with. In fact, actually, we wanted to present a few lessons on our great sages of Vedic lore. Not just as the stories, but their contributions to the mankind in terms of knowledge, in terms of science, in terms of some kind of discoveries. So there are stories like, Agastya was able to just take the whole ocean into him, absorb the whole ocean into him, just by saying, Om Achyutaya Namaha, Om Anantaya Namaha, and no water is remained there on the earth, it seems. But is it possible? Yes, should we take it in the just real sense as it happened that way? And we know the stories like Vishwamitra, did a kind of yagam and sent a thrown out king, a rundown king, who was called Trisenku, into the Swarga just by performing some yagam. And he was not able to reach that, but reached but not allowed. And then he was sent back or probably thrown out. And then he was remaining somewhere in the reverse mode. And there a beautiful living system was created around him, where seemingly he is still there. So how do we take this kind of stories? We are not denying, nor we are just simply or blindly just listening them as they are. But how we understand them. So in that aspect, yes, we wanted to write a few stories. Actually, we sent a few stories to all of you with regard to our sages, two sages. One is Vishwamitra and another one is Vasishtha. With regard to the emotional aspects of the persons, though they are great sages, there are emotional imbalances with Vishwamitra as well as with Vasishtha. What are they? We prepared about 6 stories or something like that and were shared with all of you. And probably most of you might have, okay, we will send them. Seems that Savanaji says they were not yet sent to you. I'm not sure. So some of you might have gone through, but otherwise we will send you. Read the stories and try to understand them. And then let's present those stories to the children. With regard to the moral aspects, one thing, when you read a story, you should be able to justify the parts of the story with the children. That's very, very important. We should not add more confusion to the student, to the children, especially to the children. That is our ultimate just goal. As much as clarity you are able to provide, as much as logical conclusion you are able to provide it. Don't add any kind of confusion. Wherever there's confusion, just halt it there and get clarification if possible, and then continue the story with the student. We don't want to put everything under logical, discussion, because many things we won't be able to justify in just a logical sense. It is true. As you know very well, if somebody says in our scriptures, one person while doing the meditation is able to see something that's happening in some part of the world, we never believe such kind of things, about 20 years before, 20, 25 years before. We never believed. And if somebody says, yes, if I speak something here, somebody is able to hear. Or if somebody is speaking, I'm able to hear from him. Nobody believed. But now it's possible because we have cell phone in our hand. And we have the smartphone with us. And the smartphone is able to make these things happen. You are able to talk to the person. You are able to hear from the person. You are able to see the person. You are able to show yourself to the other person. So all these things are happening today. So if these kind of things were discussed 50 years before, probably people used to laugh. But now, nobody laughs. And people think, yes, it's possible. And it is true. If at all there are some conclusions which are beyond logic, let us not deny them, nor let us accept as it is, but keep them under the thought process. How best will be able to justify those things? This is where I think we have to work out with the prajnates. Especially a pragnate must be able to receive the things and understand them, and probably should be able to give a proper and a justifiable conclusion to the persons, whoever are with them, or probably are seeking. And no, so far, with many of the prajnates, we are able to get positive answers. And teachers are happy, students are also happy. The problem is that, after a certain time, like after third module or fourth module, not able to retain is a big question always there with us. Yes, we do agree with that. What should we do? We already discussed about it earlier also. Learning by heart, memorizing by heart is possible to the beginning levels, like first, second, after third module also, it is okay. Beyond that, memorizing or getting something by heart is a bit difficult task. Convincing children to do that becomes a little bit difficult until otherwise the children themselves are very much committed and interested. So after third module or from third module, we have to have a service activity also along with our Prajna classes. Don't confine our activities only just for study or just for reading. We need to have something, service wing also working along with it. So hands-on some kind of work will make them involved and enthusiastic and come about with new ideas. There are so many avenues for us to work with in the society. We can work with the nature. We can work with the people who need some kind of service, some kind of education. We are so happy our VD volunteers, VD Seva volunteers from US especially, and some very recently from Dubai or from UK came here for some volunteering activities. Youngsters coming here and participating in service activities are making them feel very much enthusiastic. Those who participated here, most of them are so happy and this in future as well. So service is what makes a growing child when he completes his, 12th year or 13th year is very, very essential. Some service we have to show them. Let them start working with the local people or with some other part of the state or some other part of the country, or at least, somewhere abroad. Scientific activities like discovering something and presenting. Similarly, our VD Seva, people came here and worked with our tribal children in teaching them the robotics, such kind of things to them. And some children came from there and distributed some computers to the people who are providing such kind of services to blind children in other part of the country, like in from Delhi. Some service, whatever the service, I'm not putting any kind of barriers, any kind of restriction, but try to identify some kind of service and let these people put their hands on service. If they want to continue the Prajna classes along with it, it's really wonderful. Even otherwise, no problem. And now yoga became a very, very important thing for all of us. Let them start working with yoga. Let them start practicing yoga. Because the health consciousness is very much there with every person. And let us start using that yoga also as a part of our Prajna. In our Prajna modules, right from module 1, the workbook, we have given the yoga practices. What are good for the first module, second module, third module, fourth module, like that. I'm not sure that how we are able to put it in practice. But let us start working the yoga also, because surprisingly, our country now became the yoga guru, isn't it? So it's a very proud moment for all of us, because we are the people where or who are, what we can say is the direct hires of that yoga knowledge and yoga practice. So let us start working and let us start doing that, and let us start also teaching that, and make it a point that we follow the yoga classes also. We practice the yoga also as a part of our class. Maybe it is just for 15 minutes, but still that is wonderful. That adds a lot of enthusiasm and strength. But see how many practices, how many yoga asanas that you do is important. But how perfect one is able to do is very important. I mean, do only one asana with perfectness, or 2 asanas with perfectness. On the top of all of these things, we'd like to just suggest something for all of you. Let us start dedicating at least 5 minutes for meditation, which I think nowadays is missing with us. We are chanting, we are praying. Those two are there. Prayers and chantings are always there. But focusing within ourselves, or focusing in the indweller of us, God, which people otherwise call it as meditation, is really not much with us. So are we able to dedicate just 5 minutes in every session for meditation and kind of lead for such kind of thing, and see that how best they will be able to continue that. Let us start with the 5 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. So these are the things that we need to keep in mind, like giving some time for meditation and dedicating some time for yoga abhyas, and working with service activities with the growth of children, and also focusing on Bhagavad Gita especially. If we are able to do these kind of things, I think we will be able to grow a little bit meaningful and wider. We offer our Mangala Sasnams to all of you for taking the Prajna wings wider. Those started in a very humble way, but now with the beautiful effort of our current team of Prajna, the activities are conducted very well and with more enthusiasm. And those who are participating are also feeling so much happy. And also, they want to continue that. This part is wonderful. So, in spite of learning things, how they are putting their brain into the subject is also very important. And give a chance for them also to do that. Because there is a nice story in our Upanishads. We know the name Indra, right? Indra and Virochana. These are two students went into Gurukulam and stayed there for some time. They wanted some kind of wonderful knowledge, better knowledge to understand the controller, knowledge about the controller of the universe, what they call as Brahma Vidya. Almost they stayed for 32 years with the Guru. And Guru put all sorts of trials on them, and finally he wanted to just disclose something to them. And he said one day, calling both of them, and said, hey, look, you wanted to know Brahma, isn't it? The Brahma Tattvam is something that's seen in one's eyes. Whatever is visible in the eyes is the Brahma. He gave that message and said, this is all what you need to understand properly. And just come on, go and practice it. Try to find out. And both said, thank you, Guru Garu. And then they started returning. And half the way, the Virochana got a doubt. I heard from Guruji, but I want to first of all test it. And then he asked Indra, hey Indra, come on. Let me see into your eyes. Whatever is seen, that's Brahma. That's what Guruji said, right? Come on, let me see in your eyes. And then he made him sit and just look into his eyes. And what did he see? His own form. And he was awestruck. My God, it's me. Hey Indra, I'm in your eyes. So I'm Brahma. Today I realized, 32 years. It's okay. No excuses because we are with Guruji. That's fine. But anyway, I'm the Brahma, right? Now I realized, come on, let me go to my kingdom. He returned to his kingdom and conducted a round table conference at once and instructed all the heads of the states to see that I am Brahma. Because my Guru said, whatever is seen in the eyes is the Brahma. And I checked and checked again and again, time and again, and it is I seen in everybody's eyes. So I'm the Brahma. Do you know my name? I'm Mr. Virochana, the king. From today onwards, you should all chant this mantra. Sir, we were chanting Om Namo Narayana mantra. Stop it. From today, the mantra for you all is Om Virochanaya Namaha. This is the mantra for everybody. For Havan, Om Virochanaya Swaha. And for Tarpana, Om Virochanam Tarpayami. And for Japam, Om Virochanaya Namaha. Everything is with Virochana. Virochana. Remember that. No, not Virochana. It is dangerous stuff. So everybody started, chanting. What to do? It's the king's instructions, orders, command. Everybody started that. That became the Virochana knowledge. But on the other hand, Indra also had the same message. But Indra wanted to really check in somebody's eyes. And then he found his own body. Because eye is just like a mirror, isn't it? So he saw only himself in the eyes of the others, everywhere. But the body which he saw was not like this yesterday. And will not be like this tomorrow. It was in some other form. I'm going to take some other form as well. How this changeable stuff becomes Brahma. So probably is not giving the full meaning, because in the earlier classes, I heard that Brahma is something unchangeable thing. And the body, what I see in the eyes, is always changing from one form to the other form. Yesterday there was no hair, and now I'm with hair, so there is a change. And there were no wrinkles yesterday, and today I have wrinkles. So how this changing form becomes the Brahma? So definitely this is not Brahma. So what Guruji said must have some other meaning. Let me go back to Guru. Let me ask for clarification. And he came back to Guruji and asked, hey Guruji, how the changeable form becomes a Brahma? What you said, that it never changes. So I have some clarification with regard to this, sir, he asked. And then Guruji said, stay for some more time. At least you are able to ask that. Virochana did not return. He gone and just gone forever. And he is very happy with Virochana. But Indra was back here to meet again with Guruji and sought for some clarifications. And Guruji, after putting all the tests and trials on him, when he thought that this guy is able to really put it in better practice and is able to see that it is properly preserved, and then he gave that real mantra that whatever is responsible for the life behind the eyes is the Brahma. I think probably when a person was in olden days, not nowadays, I know, but they used to open the eyes and see whether this person is still living or not. Then they used to declare, right? So the eye is a place where we can find the life. But the one responsible for the life is Brahma. That's what Guruji said. It is in the details are there in the Upanishad. Of course, that is different thing. But what my point is, let's not become Virochanas. Let us try to become Indras and listen to something and understand that properly, discuss on that, and then debate within yourself also on that, and then clarify properly and come to an understanding, for which, of course, the yoga practice is needed. And mental contemplation is very much important, for which meditation helps us a lot. So let us start this meditation and yoga practice along with the real ground where we can show ourselves with whatever we learned is the service. So let us start working with those things and make the Prajna is a hub for making us real responsible human beings. So my Mangala Sasanams to all of those wonderful, lovely teachers who are putting their time, energy, money, and heart, good heart. And God bless you all to use them properly. And also let God bless that the energies that you are putting yield wonderful results to satisfy you as well as the society. And Mangala Sasanas once again to all. And let's do with rejuvenated energies. And Jai Shrimanarayan to you all, and God bless you all.
Jai Shimanarayana Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji, for the wonderful blessings, as well as you have shared, we will work together collaboratively at a global level on aiming at higher levels of standards with solutions to keep ourselves strong physically, mentally, and as intellectual beings in spreading the message of equality. So with that, Sri Swamiji, can we conclude with prayer?
And is anybody interested in just asking something or discussing something? Not much, in brief.
Okay.
Um,
It's open.
humble salutation to Swamiji for giving us the direction on memory, Bhagavad Gita, sages, and about the service, yoga, and meditation. We have curated some questions, but because we are running out of the time, we would like to seek guidance on what are the best qualities for the teachers.
Love and commitment. If the teacher becomes a wonderful tank, then the buckets and the taps will be filled up properly. Teacher is like a tank, water tank. If there is water, full of water in the tank, that means it's filled up with proper water, then any number of taps connected to that are always filled, right? So, being teachers, it is our responsibility to get proper knowledge and clarity in what we are teaching, better understanding about the lesson. Whatever little we teach, we must be very clear, because students are always smart. They are always brilliant. We, being grown-ups, go in a way whatever our elders say, but students won't go like that. They use all sorts of, just free thoughts. And so they come out with wonderful ideas. Sometimes they provide better solutions. Be able to accept it. So he becomes a better teacher who, first of all, gains better knowledge and fills up himself with clarity, and then will be delivering. And while doing so, accepts the suggestions and modifications from anywhere. No matter, sometimes a small child will give you good ideas. I remember once I was in Phoenix, long ago, and yes, we were discussing with people. Suddenly some child, I think of 6 years old, he said, "Hi Swamiji, I have a question." I said, "Go ahead." And he said, "Oh, this question is bothering me since my lifetime." He said, 6 years old guy said, "Since my lifetime, this question is bothering me." I said, "My God, what is that question, my friend? Why God is always supports Devatas? Why he is very partial on Devatas? Real efforts are there with the Asuras. Why he is not supporting them? You say God is always impartial on everybody. Why he only supports Devatas? And it was a nice question. Even we were able to think for a moment for answer. It's a wonderful question. Devatas sometimes are lazy guys, arrogant guys, and pretty egotistic guys. But Rakshasas are not like that. They're always, self-effective. And then they hard-working. And real efforts are there with them. And for such people, he's not supporting and always supporting them. What is this? It's also a really nice question. And then you have to, search for the right answer. It's a thought-provoking question from child. Accept the question. Don't say, "Hey, don't ask such kind of silly questions." It's always support Devatas. No. So it is said, along with the self-effort, those who always open for good things are Devatas. Devatas are not just by birth. Devatas are not they who live in Swarga. And Rakshasas are not they who are always in Naraka or always in some other part. Those who are open like that are Devatas. Those who are not open are Asuras. That's why even from among the Rakshasas, we accepted Prahlada, Vibhishana like people who are the Rakshasas, but were accepted as pathfinders of us, great devotees, isn't it? So, good quality of a teacher, good qualification of a teacher is filling up, delivering it properly, and able to receive any kind of suggestions from anybody, no matter whether it's a child given or somebody others gave. And don't try to manage things. If you do not really know, say that I will get back to you after knowing the answer. Is the best thing. So we think that is a better quality or qualification of a teacher. But Rajesh?
Adiyan, Dasahu. Thank you so much for again giving us the direction and the clarity and the blessings to all of us. And now we will conclude with the prayer, Swamiji.
Okay.
Om Agnenaya Supatharaye Asman Viswani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyodhyasmat Juhurana Menaha Bhuyishtham Te Nama Uktim Vidhema Om Purnamidam Purnamadaha Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Namah Paramarushibhyo Namah Paramarushibhyaha Om Namah Paramarushibhyo Namah Paramarushibhyaha Jai Shriman Narayana. Om Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha.
Jai
Shriman Narayana.
Jai Shriman Narayana.
Jai Shriman Narayana.
Jai Shriman Narayana.